Fall's here and snow's right around the corner. So today I got my first snowblower in for repairs. We're going to put in a new carburetor on this unit. The unit is not idling properly, so I'm pretty sure the carburetor is going to take care of it. That's cheap enough fix, so there's no point in taking the carburetor off, cleaning it, and trying to put it back on. We're just going to jump right in with a new carburetor. So let me show you guys how it's done. The first thing I'm going to do is remove these two bolts on the bracket that holds the chute on. This is necessary because there's a screw that's blocked by the chute. Unfortunately, in their design, they decided to use different kinds of screws. So the first ones here are Phillips. The next one is going to be like a hex head. And then the last one is going to be a hex head screw, but I can take it off with my Phillips screwdriver. Now you can see why I need the chute clearance. Remove the shroud to access the carburetor. There's two long Phillips head screws with a nut on them that hold the carburetor onto the manifold. And again, to access this with my drill, I have to have the chute moved so that way I can get a straight shot to take the screw out. Now I'm going to take off the fuel line clamp. Once it's off, I'm going to drain the fuel in the tank. These fuel lines stick on there if they've been there a while, so just rock it back and forth till it comes off. If you do end up tearing it, you do have enough fuel line where you can trim the end and reuse it without replacing the entire fuel line. I ended up tearing the fuel line because it wouldn't come off, but I did have plenty so I could trim the end and put it back on. Now reconnect the linkage to the new carburetor. There's 3 different spots. The one in the middle is the one that I used. Make sure you're paying attention when you take this off. Reconnect the fuel line and the clamp on the back. Needle nose pliers don't work the best for putting the clamp back on, so I went ahead and grabbed something a little bigger. Put the 2 Phillips screws back in and make sure that the nut gets held on by your finger while you're trying to tighten it, so that way it seats in there correctly. They do have some teeth on the back of the nut, so it will grab onto the unit as it tightens down. Now I'm going to take the old hardware off and transfer it to the new carburetor. This is something you can do before you mount the carburetor. I chose to do it while the carburetor was already on the machine. And of course, what do you know? Different size hardware for this part, completely different from the shroud, completely different from everything else, so you need another wrench to do this. This is a very important step. Make sure you put that lever up inside that hole on the choke. Otherwise, your choke will not work right, and you'll have to take it back off and put it in there. So do exactly what I'm doing right here. Make sure it's seated all the way up in there before you put both screws tight. Now you can reattach the shroud and start putting all the hardware back on. And don't forget to reattach your choke lever. So this was an Ariens 824 snowblower, 2-stage, got the carburetor replaced. If you take a look at it, carburetor is filthy, disgusting, not worth cleaning. Given us obvious running issues, wasn't idling right, wasn't throttling up right. So now everything works perfect. So just a carburetor. Unfortunately, I was not able to get an OEM one, but this wasn't a good aftermarket one. I think it was roughly around 25, 30 bucks. So nonetheless, it works fine for now. So we should be good to go on this machine. If you did find this video helpful, make sure you guys drop a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. On my channel, I've got lots of repair videos of stuff that comes in the shop on a daily basis, tools, tips, and tricks that I use to get this equipment fixed and right back out the door. And make sure you guys don't forget to stop by the description down below. In the description, I've got tons of tools that I use in the shop. I got my Amazon affiliate links on there so you guys can actually buy the tools that I'm using here. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day.